Hello students, welcome to the English classroom. This is a lecture from Department of School Education from your book A Panorama of Life, Section A, Chapter 6, Water, a True Elixir by Dr. D.V. Jindal. Let's watch a video first and then we'll go ahead with the chapter.
पानी पंजाब दरियावां वाला नहरी हो गया जी मुंडा पिंड दा सी शहर आके शहरी हो गया पानी ने चाली या गजबन पानी ने चाली या गजबन पानी ने चाली पानी वार बनने दिए माए बन्ना बन्नी बार खड़े पानी रंग वेख के पानी दा रंग वेख के पानी दा रंग वेख के अखियां चो अंजूर उड़दे
You must have got to know what the chapter is all about. It is about water, the true elixir. So let's learn about the author. Dr. D.V. Jindal is a retired head of the Department of English from Government College, Ludhiana. He is a PhD in English, Linguistics and Phonetics. He was also the M.Ed topper from Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Apart from this, he was an All India topper in postgraduate diploma in teaching of English from Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, Hyderabad. So let's see the world's water resources. You can see in the globe, or let's say in our world, there is ocean water is about 97%, glaciers, snow and frost is 1.7%, groundwater is 0.075%, lakes, swamps and rivers are 0.025. The world's water resources, so we'll read about this. How much water is there on this world, on this earth, which is drinkable? Everything is made of water, even the human body is water. It is about 70% water. So when there is dehydration, it is 63%, and when there is severe dehydration, it's 56%. So water is so important for our bodies, for plants, animals, and a lot many things. So we have here a picture of snow-covered peaks. So whatever water which can be drinkable, which can be drunk, is all fixed up, all frozen on the mountain peaks. Water is so beautiful, you can't miss it in landscapes. You can see a picture here of a waterfall, of a river. So this is again beauty. No landscape is complete without a water body. It gives such a beautiful view to our eyes. So let's introduce what is water in our literature. Pani pani hona, muhavra hai. What is pani pani hona? Pani parna. Pani parna is ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ बहुत ज़्यादा अपना मेहनत नाल काम करना. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. It is one of the lines in the poem Ancient Mariner. पानी फिर जाना. Then a fish out of water. बूंद बूंद से सागर भरना. So even in our literature, we have water mentioned at every place in all types of literature. So water is so important to our lives and in our day-to-day life, and also in our deeply embedded in our culture. Water is one of the most important gifts of nature to man. It is as essential to life as air. Life is not possible without air or water, but the advance of civilization, it sometimes goes unnoticed that air and water, the two lifelines of this universe, are being polluted every day. A day might come when this level of pollution increases so much that life becomes impossible. In that situation, air would become too toxic to be breathed in and water would become poisonous. Are we not thus robbing or disinheriting our future generations from their legitimate right to live? How is this possible? If we pollute the water, our coming generations will not be able to get water to drink and thus to sustain their life. We must set things right before it is too late. If the present generation does not read the writing on the walls, it would be willfully closing its eyes and pushing the future of mankind into jeopardy and extinction. So, water, a true elixir. Let's read some words, new words. What is elixir? Divine Amrit. Elixir, divine Amrit. Glaciers, a slow moving mass of ice. Okay, students, do you know where Ganga originates from? River Ganga? It is from Gangotri, that's the glacier. The polar ice caps, it is a high altitude region covered in ice. What is civilization? The society, culture and way of life of a particular area. Sophisticated is complicated, developed. Reservoir, a large lake used as a source of water supply. Like we have the PICTES reservoir, the PICTES dam and the reservoir. Resource, a supply of something that a country or an organization or even a person has and can use specially to increase their wealth. Disinherit means to prevent somebody, especially a son or a daughter, from receiving one's money, property after death. Here it is, for all persons are future generations who will be born hence. And if we do not take care of our natural resources, we will be disinheriting all those people. Legitimate is valid, justifiable, legal. Jeopardy is a dangerous position or a situation and likely to be lost or harmed, or a crisis situation, let's say. Extinction, a situation in which a plant, an animal or a way of life stops existing. Draft is a flow of cool air, like the air from the air conditioner, or a small amount of water. Epic is a long poem on a great subject. Prevail is to exist or be very common at a particular time or space. Acquainted is familiar with something, having read, seen or experienced it. In this essay, Water, the Elixir, the author brings out how water is essential to plant and human life and how it also causes evils like soil erosion. This happens when there are floods. He also tells that excess water can be preserved for future use. Water by building dams. Okay. Water is everywhere on our planet, in the air, in our bodies, in our food, and in our breath. Without it, life would not be possible. Water covers about 75% of our planet. 97% of that water is salty ocean water and remaining 3% is fresh water. Most of it is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. So only 1% of Earth's water is available for drinking. Sir C.V. Raman praises the importance of water by saying, he says that man attempted to seek an imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrita, to confer him immortality, but it ended in vain. According to him, water is the true elixir of life. Water is the reason why most of our civilizations and important cities grew on the banks of big rivers only. The Indus Valley civilization had one of the most sophisticated urban water supply and sewage systems in the world. In the forests, water seeps gently into the ground as vegetation breaks the flow of water. This groundwater in turn feeds wells, lakes, and rivers. In ancient India, people worshipped the forests. Water is also a source of beauty and joy. Rising populations, growing industrialization, and expanding agriculture have increased the demand for water. Efforts have been made to collect water by building dams and reservoirs and digging wells. The water table is depleting, and there is a rise in salinity due to the overuse of chemicals, fertilizers, and pesticides. Conservation of water in the agricultural sector is the need of the hour. Let's read from the text. Water covers about 75% of our planet, so it appears plentiful. However, 97% of that water is salty ocean water, which we cannot drink. Of the 3% that is frozen water, that is fresh water, most is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. As a result, only 1% of Earth's water may be available for drinking. Moreover, the Earth's water supply is fixed. No new water is being made. We have the same amount of water now as there was when the Earth was created. This is the water we have, and we must preserve its quality. Water is the foundation of food and life. Next to air, water is our most precious resource. We cannot live without water. C.V. Raman has rightly said, man has through the ages sought in vain for the imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrit, a draught of which was thought to confer immortality. But the true elixir of life lies near to our hands, for it is the commonest of all liquids, plain water. That is why most of our civilizations and important cities grew on the banks of big rivers only. Our ancient religious texts and epics give a good insight into the water storage and conservation systems that prevailed in those days. Here, students, you can look at the picture. It is a Bawdi or a Bauli in Rajasthan, Jaipur. You can see it. It is a step well. There are lots of steps which go deep down till the level of the water. So this was one of the ways water was conserved in our ancient time or olden times. The Indus Valley civilization that flourished along the banks of the river Indus and other parts of western and northern India about 5,000 years ago had one of the most sophisticated urban water supply and sewage systems in the world. The fact that the people were well acquainted with hygiene can be seen from the covered drains running beneath the streets of the ruins at both Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. These were the old ancient cities of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. In the forest, water seeps gently into the ground as vegetation breaks the flow of water. This groundwater in turn feeds wells, lakes and rivers. Protecting forests means protecting water catchments. Catchment is the area around the rivers. In ancient India, people believed that forests were the mothers of rivers and worshipped the sources of these water bodies. Water is a source of beauty and joy. It adds to the beauty of nature. It may be a little stream trickling down the rocks or a waterfall, big or small. It is a joy to the eyes and a freshening breath of beauty to the mind. Brooks and rivers dancing down the hills on their majestic journey to the sea in their serpentine ways add a touch of novelty to the scene. So let's see. In the picture here, you can see you've all drawn such pictures when the teacher has told you, okay, draw a landscape. So the landscape without a water body, without a river, does not look nice. So it gives beauty to the eyes. What is serpentine? Is the way. What is a serpent? It's a snake. Like the snake walks, such is the river, the path of the river. Small tanks, lakes, or big oceans earn rich tributes from sensitive poets. A great writer wrote, "Water in a landscape may be compared to the eyes in a human face. It reflects the mood of the hour, being bright and gay when the sun shines, turning to dark and gloomy when the sky is overcast." What is overcast? When the sky is overcast with clouds. Over the years, rising populations, growing industrialization, and expanding agriculture have pushed up the demand for water. Efforts have been made to collect water by building dams and bridges, building dams and reservoirs and digging wells. Some countries have also tried to recycle and desalinate water. Desalinate means to remove salts. Water conservation has become the need of the day. While the availability of water can turn millions of uncultivated land into areas teeming with life and vegetation, the absence of water can convert fertile lands into dry, barren, lifeless tracts of death. Conservation of water in the agricultural sector is essential, but depleting water table, depleting means the water is going down, and a rise in salinity due to the overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides is something serious. The food bowl of India, the state of Punjab, is fast drying up. It is on the verge of an ecological disaster. The number of tube wells has grown up from 1.2 lakh in 1970 to about 13 lakh now. The groundwater decline rate has reached an alarming level. The worst affected districts are Sangrur and Moga, where the water table is below 50 feet. So, till here we will do the rest of the chapter in the next session. And let's do the questions quickly. Why is only 1% of water available on our planet fit for drinking? Why should we preserve the quality of water available to us? Yes? Okay, I'll give you the answers. Only 3% of water is fresh water, in which 2% is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. 97% of the water is salty ocean water. So only 1% of the water is available for drinking. Why should we preserve the quality of water available to us? We should preserve the quality of water available to us because only 1% of water is available for drinking. 2% is frozen in glaciers and polar ice. So if even 1% is polluted, then how will we sustain our lives? Next, why did civilizations generally grow on the banks of big rivers? Yes, because we need water. So the big rivers had the civilizations, people settling down near the rivers because water was needed for consumption and also for agriculture purpose. What type of water supply and sewage system, sewage or sewerage, it's a similar words, system prevailed during the Indus Valley civilization period? Okay. Civilizations generally grew on the banks of big rivers because people had access to fresh water easily, so that they could use it in their agriculture or in their homes or for whatever purpose they needed it. What type of water supply and sewage system prevailed during the Indus Valley civilization period? The Indus Valley civilization period had one of the most sophisticated urban water supply and sewage system in the world. What role do forests play in the conservation of water? Yes. The water seeps down into the earth. Yes, very good. Why is water conservation the need of the day? Because it is all Yes, question number 5. In the forest, water seeps gently into the ground as vegetation breaks the flow of water. This groundwater feeds wells, lakes, and rivers. Why is the water conservation the need of the day? Water conservation is the need of the day because the level of underground water is falling sharply day by day because of overuse or overconsumption. Let's see. This will be your home assignment. Let's read the words first, then you can match them with their meanings. What is plentiful? Draft, insight, flourish, acquainted with, gloomy, serpentine, alarming, decline, excess. So let's read the meanings from the column B. Understanding, sad, twisting and turning, threatening, dangerous, fall down, decrease, reach, familiar with, prosper, a small amount, sufficiently large in quantity. Yes, now you know how to pronounce these words. We'll do the match the words with the meanings right now, but you have to write it down in your notebooks and also to speak. Practice speaking these words. What is plentiful? Plentiful is sufficiently large in quantity. This is not drought, it's draft. Draft is a small amount. Insight. What is insight? Is understanding. Understanding. What is flourish? Flourish. Flourish is prosper. Prosper. Acquainted with. Familiar with. Gloomy. Gloomy is sad. Serpentine is twisting and turning. Alarming is dangerous or threatening. Decline is fall down or decrease. Then comes excess is reach. Reach. Now let's look at the last one. The food bowl of India, the state of Punjab is fast drying up. It is on the verge of ecological disaster. The number of tube wells has grown up from 1.2 lakh to about 13 lakh now. The groundwater decline rate has reached an alarming level. So, alarming level, this is the word where we knew, okay, alarming. What is alarming? Let's see. Alarming here is and decline. Alarming is threatening and fall down or decrease. So this is how the water level is decreasing, is going down, it's falling down at an alarming rate. So we have to take care that we should look after the things so that there is no decrease in whatever water we have, or the water is not polluted, and so that we can sustain life with this water. It is so important. We will do the rest of the chapter in our next session. Till then, this is Anurag Sidhu, lecturer in English, Government Senior Secondary School, Ramgarh Pudda, SAS Nagar. This is an initiative of Department of School Education, Punjab. And till next time, thank you so much. God bless.